Captain Elias Rourke stared out of the viewport of the small human shuttle as it descended through the violet clouds of Valira. The planet's surface glimmered with strange crystal forests and rivers that shimmered in colors Elias had no words for. Despite years of exploring unknown worlds, something about Valira felt familiar. Valira, Valira, Valira. He rubbed his eyes and shook his head. Just my imagination, he muttered. But the unease remained. There was a pull in his chest, a whisper in his mind he couldn't explain. The shuttle touched down near a gleaming palace made of translucent crystal. Its towers stretched skyward like frozen flames, reflecting the sunlight in dizzying patterns. Elias had been sent on a diplomatic mission to meet Princess Liari, heir to the Valiran throne, and discuss trade agreements between humans and Valirans. But as he stepped onto the soft, glowing ground, he felt a shiver run down his spine. It was not cold. It was something else. Something alive. He adjusted his uniform and stepped forward, the soft crunch of the crystal under his boots echoing in the vast courtyard. Statues of strange creatures, part bird, part feline, seemed to watch him with lifelike eyes. Elias shook his head again. "Stop overthinking, Rourke," he said quietly. "Diplomacy, not hallucinations." He approached the main palace doors. Before he could knock, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper brushed against his mind. "Have you forgotten me, human?" Elias froze. The voice was feminine, delicate, and strangely commanding. It made the hairs on the back of his neck rise. His heart began to beat faster, and for a moment, the world seemed to tilt. "Who's there?" he called, though no one was visible. The whisper came again, closer this time, almost inside his head. "Do you not remember me?" Elias took a step back. The voice was impossible. He had never heard it before, or had he? His mind swirled with confusion. There was something deep inside him, a memory locked behind a door he could not open. "Show yourself," he demanded, trying to keep his voice steady. From the shadows of a towering archway, a figure emerged. She glowed faintly, her skin shimmering like liquid silver. Her eyes were deep violet, intelligent and piercing. Her hair flowed like a river of light. And yet, despite her alien appearance, Elias felt a strange, overwhelming familiarity. "Princess Liari," he whispered, his voice trembling slightly. She smiled faintly, and her lips moved in unison with the whisper in his mind. "You remember now." A little. Elias took a hesitant step forward. I don't understand. I've never met you before." "Have I?" Liari's smile softened, tinged with sadness. "Perhaps you have, in ways your mind chose to forget. Years ago, on a mission that went wrong, I saved you. But your memory, it was safer for you to forget me then." Elias shook his head, confusion mixing with awe. "Saved me? How? Why would I forget?" "You were not ready to carry the burden of our world," Liari said. "And yet here you are, human. The universe has brought you back." Elias's hands clenched at his sides. The memories were fragments now, flashes of light, pain, voices calling out in panic, a shuttle falling, alien forests, a sense of being pulled from danger by an invisible hand, and her. "My mind, I feel like I know you," he said, voice barely a whisper. "But I don't. I can't." Liari stepped closer, her presence calm yet overwhelming. "Do not fear, human. Your heart remembers, even if your mind does not. I saved you because I saw in you something rare, something important." Elias shivered. "Something important?" "Yes. Courage, ingenuity, human resilience," she said softly. "You are small in the galaxy, human, yet you shine where others would fail." Before Elias could respond, an alarm sounded in the palace. The crystal walls vibrated, sending pulses of colored light through the air. Liari's expression hardened. "Something is wrong," she said, her voice now tinged with urgency. "The energy core of Valira is under attack. They have come again." Elias frowned. "Attack? By who?" Liari's eyes darkened. "A faction from beyond our system. Alien invaders who seek to weaponize our planet's energy. If they succeed, countless worlds will fall, including yours." Elias's pulse quickened. This was no diplomatic visit. He had survived countless dangers. But something about the stakes here made his instincts scream. The memories, fuzzy as they were, began to align with the present danger. "Show me," he said. "Show me what's happening." Liari nodded and extended her hand. A wave of light passed from her fingertips into his mind. Suddenly, he saw it. A massive shadow moving through Valira's energy core. Strange machines that hummed with destructive power. Alien shapes he could not name. The images came with a strange clarity, as if his mind recognized the danger instinctively. Elias staggered back, breathing hard. We have to stop them." Liari studied him, her violet eyes reflecting both hope and fear. "I cannot do it alone. I saved you before, because I knew your mind could solve what mine cannot. You, human, are the key." Elias swallowed hard. "I don't even remember you fully. How can I help?" "You will remember," Liari said. "The universe will remind you. And if you trust yourself, we can protect this world. Together." Elias felt the weight of her words. He was just a human, a small figure in an endless galaxy. But he also felt a spark, the same spark she had seen years ago. Courage, ingenuity, determination. "All right," he said finally, straightening his shoulders. "Show me where to start." Liari nodded. "Follow me." They moved through the palace, past halls of light and corridors filled with statues that seemed almost alive. The air hummed with energy, resonating with Elias's growing sense of purpose. He realized that despite the fear, despite the shaking in his hands and the uncertainty in his mind, he was alive for a reason. As they reached the central chamber of the palace, Liari paused. The massive room stretched above them, its walls covered in crystalline veins, pulsing with raw energy. In the center, a holographic map projected the alien invaders' positions. Elias's eyes widened. "This is incredible." Liari glanced at him. "And dangerous. They adapt quickly. You will need to think faster than they do. Your human mind is unpredictable. But that is why you can succeed." Elias studied the map, already forming strategies. It was as if memories from long ago whispered in his mind, guiding him. He did not fully understand how, but he trusted the instinct. Then he heard it again, the whisper that had first made him tremble. "Have you forgotten me, human?" This time, it did not frighten him. It reminded him of why he had survived before, why he had returned to this place. He nodded at Liari, determination setting in. "I remember you," he said firmly. Liari's eyes softened, a hint of relief washing over her alien features. "Then, let us begin. Time is short, human. And the universe waits for no one." As Elias stepped toward the energy core, the crystal walls of the palace vibrating beneath his feet, he felt the weight of destiny settle on his shoulders. He was small. He was human. But for the first time in a long time, he knew he could change the outcome of the galaxy. The whisper lingered in his mind, no longer a haunting question, but a promise. "I never forgot you, human. And now, neither will you forget yourself." The chamber doors closed behind them with a hum. Outside, Valira's skies darkened as the alien threat approached. Inside, a human and an alien princess began a partnership that could decide the fate of countless worlds. And for Elias Rourke, the forgotten memories were only the beginning of a journey he would never forget again. The chamber hummed with a quiet tension as Captain Elias Rourke and Princess Liari stepped closer to the heart of Valira's energy core. The crystalline walls pulsed with radiant light, sending shimmering patterns across the floor. Elias could feel the power beneath his feet, a living force that seemed to breathe with the planet itself. Liari's eyes glimmered as she studied the projections hovering in the center of the room. The alien invaders were not merely intruders, they were precise, organized, and efficient. Machines unlike anything human engineers had ever imagined moved through the energy channels, siphoning the planet's power into strange, floating conduits. "They are faster than I expected," Liari said, her voice calm but firm. "And more ruthless. If they breach the core, they will weaponize it. Entire systems could be destroyed, including your colonies." Elias studied the map. He could see the invaders' positions, their machines' movement patterns, and their weak points. His mind, trained for years in survival and strategy, began to work instinctively. "We can disrupt their power flow," he said, pointing to a cluster of conduits. "If we can redirect it, we can overload their system without harming the planet." Liari's eyes widened. "You see it already. You remember more than you realize, human." Elias shook his head. "I don't fully remember, but I can feel it. There's something in me, buried under memories I don't have. It's guiding me." Liari placed a hand on his arm. Her touch was warm, calming, yet filled with energy. "Your heart remembers what your mind cannot. That is why I saved you before, and that is why you are here, now." They moved deeper into the chamber. The energy core's hum grew louder, resonating through their bones. Elias felt it in his chest, a strange mix of fear and exhilaration. "You need to see this," Liari said, leading him to a platform that overlooked the central conduits. From there, the full scale of the invaders' operation became clear. Hundreds of machines swarmed over the energy channels, extracting power in massive quantities. The glow of the conduits flickered under their touch. Elias swallowed hard. "They're enormous. How are we supposed to stop them?" Liari's violet eyes shone with determination. "Together, I will guide your mind, human, and you will guide our hands." Elias nodded, feeling a sense of purpose rising within him. For the first time since his arrival, the fear and confusion that had haunted him began to fade. He could do this. He had to do this. The first challenge came quickly. As they approached the conduits, one of the invader machines detected them. A shrill alarm rang through the chamber, and the walls shimmered with defensive energy. The machine's metallic limbs extended, reaching toward them with terrifying speed. Elias's instincts kicked in. He grabbed a nearby control panel, his fingers flying over unfamiliar alien symbols. Liari's hand rested on his shoulder, her telepathic guidance flowing into his mind. Suddenly, the symbols began to make sense. "Redirect the energy from the top conduit to the lower channels," Liari whispered into his mind. Elias obeyed. The conduits glowed brighter as the energy shifted. The machine faltered, its limbs convulsing under the sudden power surge. With a loud crack, it short-circuited and collapsed. Elias stepped back, breathing heavily. "It worked. We actually did it." Liari smiled faintly, though her expression remained serious. "This is only the beginning. They will adapt. They always adapt. You must think faster than they do." Over the next few hours, they moved through the chamber, disrupting the invaders' machines. Elias's human ingenuity and unpredictability allowed them to succeed where purely alien logic might have failed. He improvised solutions on the spot, using the energy flows in ways Liari had never imagined. As they worked, Liari began to share more of her story. "When I first found you, human, your mind was clouded. You were near death, and the memories of what happened were too dangerous to remain. I erased them. But I never forgot you. Elias frowned. You erased my memories? I had to, she replied. You were not ready. You would have been hunted. And yet, I knew that one day, you would return. That day is now. Elias looked at her, a mixture of awe and confusion in his eyes. Why me? Why did you save me then, and now trust me again? Liari's gaze softened. Because you are human. You see what others do not. You act when others hesitate. You survive when others fail. And above all, you care. That is rare in this galaxy. Elias felt warmth rise in his chest. The fear, the uncertainty, the trembling he had felt earlier, it began to fade. He was not just a human trapped in an alien world. He was part of something larger, something that mattered. Suddenly, the energy core pulsed violently, sending waves of force through the chamber. The invaders had discovered another pathway, faster and more dangerous than before. Liari's expression turned grim. They are learning. We must act quickly. Elias assessed the situation. Using a combination of human improvisation and Liari's guidance, he formulated a plan. They would split the energy flow, causing the invaders' machines to overload and shut down simultaneously. Are you ready? He asked. Liari nodded. Always. Together, they moved. Liari's telepathic connection allowed her to manipulate the core's energy with precision, while Elias used his human ingenuity to reroute and destabilize the invaders' machinery. Sparks flew, lights flickered, and the chamber vibrated under the strain. Elias's heart pounded. He had never felt energy like this before, alive, sentient, demanding respect. And yet, he felt in control. He felt powerful. Not in the way of weapons or armies, but in the way of intelligence, courage, and determination. The invader machines faltered. One by one, they collapsed under the sudden overload. The chamber grew quiet, the hum of the energy core returning to its natural rhythm. Elias and Liari stood side by side, breathing heavily but victorious. Liari looked at him with admiration. You are remarkable, human. I never doubted you, even when you doubted yourself. Elias shook his head, still processing everything. I don't know how I did it. I don't fully remember, but it felt like I always knew what to do. You did, Liari said softly. Your heart remembered. And that is why humans matter, Elias. You may be small in the galaxy, but you shine where others cannot. That is the human way. Elias looked at her, a new understanding dawning. He had always thought of humans as ordinary, fragile beings in a vast, indifferent universe. But here, in this alien palace, fighting against impossible odds, he realized the truth. Humanity's strength lay not in size or power, but in courage, creativity, and resilience. As they walked through the chamber, Liari touched his arm gently. There is more to come, human. This victory is only the first step. The invaders will return, and we must be ready. Elias nodded, determination settling in his chest. Then we'll be ready. Together. They stepped out into the palace's outer halls. The crystal walls reflected the fading light of Valira's twin suns, casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the floor. For a moment, the world felt peaceful, almost normal. But both knew that the calm was temporary. The galaxy was vast, and danger was always near. Liari glanced at him. Do you remember now, Elias? He nodded slowly. Not everything, but enough. Enough to know that we can face anything, and enough to know that I trust you. Her smile was faint but genuine. And I have always trusted you, human. You are my unexpected ally, and perhaps my friend. Elias felt a warmth in his chest, a connection that transcended memory and species. For the first time, he understood that the universe was not only full of threats, it was full of possibilities. And humans, small though they were, could make a difference in ways no one else could. As night fell over Valira, the stars emerging in the sky above, Elias felt a strange peace. He was no longer a stranger on this alien world. He was a human who mattered, whose courage could shape destinies. And by his side, Princess Liari, once forgotten, now remembered, would face the galaxy's challenges together with him. But even in the quiet, Elias knew this was only the beginning. The alien invaders had retreated for now, but they would return, smarter and more dangerous. And when they did, the human spark he carried would once again be the difference between survival and annihilation. The sky over Valira burned with streaks of red and gold as the alien invaders returned. Their ships, sleek and angular, cut through the atmosphere like knives. Elias Rourke stood at the edge of the palace balcony, his eyes scanning the horizon. Beside him, Princess Liari's violet eyes glimmered with determination. "This time, they will not hold back," she said, her voice calm but filled with urgency. "We must be ready, human. Everything depends on what we do now." Elias nodded. "I know, but we've faced them before. We can do it again." Liari studied him for a long moment, as if measuring the weight of his words. Then she placed her hand on his shoulder. "Your courage, your creativity. That is why I saved you before. That is why I trust you again. Humans have a spark no other species possesses." Elias swallowed. The compliment struck him more than any battle or danger could. "Then let's make sure that spark doesn't die today." The palace's crystal walls vibrated with a low hum as energy flowed from the planet's core. The invaders' ships hovered closer, their weapons charged. Liari placed her hand on the central console. "We will combine our strengths, my telepathy and control over the core, and your human ingenuity. Together, we can turn the tide." Elias took a deep breath. He had faced countless dangers before, but this felt different. The stakes were higher, the consequences unimaginable. Yet, unlike before, he felt ready. He trusted his mind, his instincts, and now, he trusted Liari completely. The first wave of ships descended, firing energy beams that cut across the sky. Crystal towers on the palace glowed as they absorbed and deflected some of the attack. But the invaders were relentless. Elias studied the enemy formations. "They attack in patterns," he said quickly. "If we can predict their movements, we can channel the core's energy to counter them." Liari nodded. "Do it. I will guide the flow, but you must direct it precisely." Working together, human and alien moved in harmony. Elias directed the energy through the core, rerouting beams and creating defensive barriers. Liari's telepathic guidance helped him adjust instantly, anticipating the invaders' maneuvers before they happened. One ship broke through the defenses, aiming straight for the palace's energy hub. Elias felt his pulse quicken. "We can't let it reach the core!" he shouted. Liari's voice entered his mind, calm and commanding. "Focus, human. Use what you know. Trust yourself." Elias closed his eyes for a moment and let instinct take over. He recalculated the energy flow, channeling power to a lattice that intercepted the incoming ship. Sparks flew, the ship exploded in midair, and the palace remained intact. Liari's gaze met his, admiration shining through her alien features. "You are extraordinary, human. Your mind, it bends the impossible." Elias shook his head, though he felt pride swell inside him. "I just do what I have to. That's what humans do." The battle raged on for hours. Ship after ship attacked, but Elias's adaptability and quick thinking kept them one step ahead. Every time the invaders tried a new tactic, he improvised, finding solutions in moments no one else could. Liari guided the energy core with precision, amplifying his human ingenuity. Together, they were unstoppable. Finally, the invaders' leader emerged a massive warship, far larger than any other. Its energy beams could pierce the palace's strongest defenses. Liari's eyes widened. This is their command ship. If we do not stop it, all is lost. Elias studied the ship. It was heavily shielded, almost impervious to direct attack. But he noticed a pattern. Its power conduit pulsed rhythmically, a beat that could be exploited. I have an idea, he said, a spark of excitement in his eyes. We can overload their system if we synchronize the core's energy with that pulse. It will destabilize the ship from within. Liari nodded. It is risky, but if anyone can do it, it is you, Lime. Working together, they focused the core's energy. Elias calculated the timing, directing the flow to match the enemy ship's pulses. Liari enhanced his control with her telepathy, extending his awareness across the vast chamber. The first strike hit. The warship shuddered, shields flickering. The invaders responded, firing massive beams at the palace. Crystals shattered and sparks flew, but Elias's quick thinking redirected the energy to absorb the worst of the attack. Almost there, he shouted, sweat dripping down his face. Keep it steady. Liari's voice rang in his mind. You are doing it, human. Do not falter. With one final surge of energy, Elias synchronized perfectly. The warship convulsed violently. Systems overloading. Energy leaked in brilliant arcs of light. And with a deafening roar, the ship exploded in a cascade of fire and debris. The remaining invader ships faltered and retreated, their formation broken. The sky cleared as the threat dissipated. Elias stood panting, looking at the horizon. For a moment, the only sound was the hum of the palace and the wind across Valera's crystal forests. Liari stepped beside him, her expression a mixture of relief and awe. You did it, Elias. You saved Valera and countless other worlds. Elias shook his head, exhausted but exhilarated. We did it. Together. Liari smiled faintly. Yes. Together. You are human. And yet, you are more than I ever imagined. You have courage, ingenuity, and heart. That is what makes you special. Elias felt a warmth in his chest. He had always underestimated humans in the galaxy. But here, facing impossible odds, he understood the truth. Humans may be small, but they could shine brighter than any star. Their minds could solve what others could not. Their courage could inspire hope where there was none. The battle was over, but the aftermath required careful attention. Liari led him through the palace, checking the energy core and ensuring the invaders' remaining forces could not return so quickly. The crystal halls were damaged, but the core itself was intact, stronger than ever, and now aligned with both Liari's and Elias's energy. You have changed things, human, Liari said softly. Valera is safer because of you. Humanity is seen differently now. Ah, Elias shook his head. I didn't do it for recognition. I did it because it was right. Because someone had to stand up. Liari looked at him, her eyes reflecting the fading twin suns. And that is what makes humans remarkable. You do not always know the future. Yet, you act. You take risks, not for glory, but because it must be done. That is why I saved you before, and why I trust you now. Elias smiled faintly. I understand now. Humans may be small, but we can make a difference, even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. Liari's gaze softened. And you have reminded me of something important, Elias. That even in the vastness of the universe, connections, trust, and courage matter more than power alone. I never forgot you, human. And now, neither will the galaxy. Elias felt the weight of those words. The memories that had once been blurry were now vivid, not just of Valira, but of the past moments where courage and heart mattered most. He remembered the rescue, the fear. As night fell over Valira, the palace glimmered with renewed light. Humans and Valirans alike looked to the skies with hope. The galaxy had seen human courage in action, and the story of Elias Rourke would travel far, inspiring others to believe that even small beings could shape destinies. Liari placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. The universe is vast, Elias. There will be more threats, more battles. But for now, rest. You have earned it. Elias nodded, watching the stars above. He felt a deep sense of peace. For the first time in a long time, he knew that humanity's place in the galaxy was not defined by size or strength, but by courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. "Thank you, Liari," he said softly. Liari smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "We all remember, human. Some memories are hidden, but the important ones, they never fade. You are part of something greater now, and you have proven that humanity truly shines." Elias looked at her, feeling the bond that had been forgotten now rekindled. Together, they had changed the course of history, proving that courage and ingenuity, the spark of humanity, could overcome even the greatest odds. As they stood side by side, watching Valira's skies calm and the first stars twinkle, Elias realized the truth that had guided him all along. Humans were not insignificant. They were resilient, resourceful, and capable of inspiring hope across the stars. And with Princess Liari at his side, he knew they could face whatever the galaxy sent next. The universe was vast, full of challenges, but humanity could shine.